So this is a follow-up to my last video. I want to explain how God would, how God likely will do all of it at the end, and it makes so much sense. And I said in my last video, there's this ringwonite, and the molecule, it holds water. What's amazing, and only God can do this, is that it's all of this in the mantle of the earth, like right by the core. So this is like a picture of it. It's like a diamond in a way, because it's just a molecule that holds water together, which is why we can't get to the core of the earth. We can't, because of how hot it is, which is what makes God so amazing, because this molecule, even being close to this heat that we wouldn't even, and it's not fire in the core of the earth. It's just so hot, and it's sulfur. What did God say the lake of fire was? There's a reason it becomes the lake of fire, okay? It's because what was going on in Genesis 1, God's spirit hovered over the chaotic waters. That's all that was here before he created anything, was water. Chaotic, unordered water. And his spirit. And what was the first thing he did? God said, let there be light. And what light came first? His. He was the light of the world. His is the true light. It was on the fourth day that he created the sun and all of that. The sun and the moon are in the fabric of the sky. The fabric is a tent, as it says in the Bible. It's a tent because you're all in the fallen world, still trying to create your new Jerusalem. Not realizing, no, you're only getting that because God does it. So, what does God do with the sky when it's time for all that? It rolls back the sky. Because here's why his light is different than the artificial light of the sun. Although the sun is, amazingly powerful, it creates shadows. God's light doesn't. God's light permeates everything. There's no shadows, which is why there's no night. It's all just light. So it says how he will scroll the sky back. For him, this is his throne. This is Satan. This is Satan's throne. God, during the millennial kingdom, locks him up, yes, chains him. And then when God, after the millennial kingdom, releases him to see if he deceives the world, people probably think, what do people think? That because God was here on earth then, in human form, after human form of Jesus, in human form. So what do you think? There were just people around, and God, who was reigning, said, okay, I'm releasing him. See, as he goes trying to deceive the world. No, it would just happen one day, because he deceives through the magnetic field of the earth. That's how he's able to get so many people quickly. Like in Job, it says, Satan is running across the earth from town to town. But it's not him literally doing it. He does it through what? Through the magnetic field, which is why Jesus said, who is the prince of darkness? The prince of darkness is the prince of the air. The airwaves. What's in the airwaves? Airwaves, the magnetic field. So it would just happen one day. It wouldn't be literally, because he would want to stay here. This is his throne. It always has been. He doesn't want to leave here. And here's why the people that do the bidding for him, okay? Like the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and there's so many, okay? The people that worry about the water decreasing or the ice caps melting. Most people, though, might think that if these structures became unstructured, because all it is water in a molecule. But all of those in the mantle of the earth becoming, their structure going away, the ringwoodite, It would be more water there than all the waters of the oceans on the earth combined. Which then would create very much like a lava effect. But it's how God would flush him out permanently. So I know it's hard for people to imagine, but see, I do think that the earth is round, and I think that it is because I look at north as the top and south as the bottom, okay? And yet the sky is all the way around, right? Because it's the tent that's all the way around. So even though it's hard to envision what I'm trying to say, that those molecules melting and becoming all that water, that would then, suck him out through the bottom. And you may think, but the earth isn't in the water. That's because the tent of the sky is around it. But ultimately, what's behind the tent of the sky? Water. It is that water that was at the beginning, the chaotic water. That's why God sends him to the lake of fire. Do you understand what I mean? So once you have all these structures that are all in the mantle of the earth, right next to the core, melting, you have a ton of water coming in to flood him out. And as it suctions him out into that water that we just don't see because we have the tent of the sky around us, but it's all that chaotic water in the beginning of the Bible. That's the endless abyss. That's the bottomless pit that he would be flushed through. And that would then make sense why the waters of, because it says in the last book of the Bible that the seas are no more, because when God rolls the sky back, we have his light. That's why there's no need for the sun anymore. The real light is here. The waters decreasing, they would all get sucked out with him through the bottom of the earth. No reason for that anymore, because God brings his own water of life. You have to remember when Jesus, after the moment he was crucified, I'm pointing to the key at the top, the moment he died, the first place he went was down. He went down to where he was at to release the souls that he had been holding on to. Jesus' sacrifice was needed to pull those souls, like that would be Noah, that would be Adam and Eve, that would be all of them prior to him, that don't belong to him, out, and they ascend up, okay? But he took the key back, God did. So that's why in Revelations, they open the bottomless pit. What is opening the bottomless pit? The bottom of the earth. You can look at it as the bottom of the earth. And it's because the sky has gone away. It's just water. He's flushed out into the endless abyss of the bottomless pit. He's gone, never able to return. Which is why even the demons, when Jesus came up in Luke, when the demons begged God, please don't send us to the abyss, because that's worse, because there's nothing. There's no end to it. And it becomes like a lava, sulfur, a lake of fire, because the inner core of the earth is sulfur and heat, and where he resides, his throne, everything flushed out. Which is then why there's the new heaven. God, he says in Revelation 21, the heaven and earth pass away, and because God's bringing the real heaven and the real kingdom. And the devil, who had deceived them and was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet were, and they will be tormented day and night forever. It would be bad. They're in the chaotic waters. He can't return. He needs the core of earth. It's his throne. He would never want to leave there. But God would flush him out by those molecules melting. And let's remember, even though people would say, there's nothing in the Bible that says anything about those molecules, there was something in Revelations, remember John wrote, but he was told, do not put that in. Maybe that was what it was about ringwoodite melting. That's how you would flush all the waters, and God would truly, then we would see his kingdom.